Joining me now is an amazing comedian, a personal friend of mine, Akaash Singh. He, of course, co-hosts Flagrant 2 with Andrew Schultz, also a good friend. But he's coming out with a new special, Bring Back Apu. Hey, Akaash, I'm really glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about why you chose the name Apu, why also you're going straight to YouTube, and some of the rollout and the strategy behind this.
First of all, thank you, Saagar, for having me. I'm excited to misinform millions of people. But I wanted to call this special Bring Back Apu because I thought Apu was a tipping point of victimhood currency for South Asians.
Yes.
Whereas my eyes have been open a lot. Like if you are a Black American, you have been systemically oppressed. If you are a South Asian American, you haven't. Your feelings might get hurt. But overall, we're in fantastic shape. We're 40% of the doctors in this country, whatever astronomical percentage. So if you're going to point to this guy, Apu, as oh my God, we should have some currency in this victimhood market, I just don't buy into that. I think we are victors, we're not victims. And so I wanted to do a special kind of centered around that theme of you can't just shout down every white guy and tell him he's privileged. We also have privilege and we do need to acknowledge that. I got family in India with no electricity right now. So I'm going to talk to them about white male privilege. What kind of asshole would I be?
Yeah, I love that you put it that way.
And I want to make it funny and have fun. Yeah. And so I wanted to poke fun at all that stuff.
You know, it's fun. I remember this was a big tipping point for me, too, because I remember when that Hari Kondalablu stuff started coming out about Apu, and I was like, who is this guy? I'm like, he doesn't speak for me. I'm like, look, Apu, yeah, I mean, was it annoying and somebody says it? When you're a child, as you point to, Indian Americans are the richest people literally in the entire United States. I mean, I don't know if there's been a better example of people who've succeeded within a single generation, which is astounding, honestly, and frankly, we should just celebrate it. But, choosing victimhood complexes and more, as a comic, how do you play with that? So when you're talking, because you're not just talking to an Indian audience, you're talking to all kinds of people. So how do you play with those jokes and make it relatable to as many people as possible?
I think Apu is the one joke I have that's kind of South Asian centric in that special. And I think Apu is something that we all kind of recognize. And so many people were just I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but we're going to do a whole conversations and news articles about this thing. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. So I think that was kind of the idea of it. And in general, I've noticed about me my whole life, I've just been annoyed by the loudest voice around me. I grew up in Texas, and then I found extreme conservatives really annoying and stupid. Same as you. Then you move to New York and LA, and you're like, oh, extreme liberals are just as annoying and stupid. And that helps you be a comic. You got to fight against the loudest voice in the room because usually they're wrong. And that's why they're being so loud. So I think in the middle was where most of my fan base is. And we all kind of relate to this. Everything around us just seems absurdly loud. So let's just poke fun at all that and let's have fun. And that's the kind of community we create. Even though I am super proud of being a South Asian, I know that's not going to be my only fan base. And I love that. I'm talking to them the most a little bit, but let's everybody come in, let's have fun, and let's just let's laugh at all this absurdity.
Akaash, obviously I'm a fan, man. I listen to your guys' podcasts all the time. I thought it was really interesting that you and Andrew are big believers in releasing specials and stuff to YouTube. That's your plan here. Yes. So this obviously circumvents the old model, which is you go to a Netflix, you go to an Amazon, you try to sell it. Why did you decide to do that? What's the strategy here?
I decided to do that mainly because Andrew decided to do that. And why not? It works.
I mean, it works.
But also I noticed my whole career, and this is a similar thing Andrew and I have, is that I was kind of overlooked by the industry, and I'm not mad at them, but they kind of tend to put on a lot of minorities who kind of relish the victimhood culture. And I don't think it's ill-intended. I think people who are these executives genuinely do feel I've had a pretty privileged life, and that sucks. So when they put on a minority who kind of talks about how much they struggle and how much white people are evil, whatever, I think they feel relieved of their guilt because they're like, oh, well, I gave him a platform, so I don't feel as guilty. And I think that just became a cycle of this thing that we all see in the media, which is every minority shouting down every white person. And it's just not healthy. It's cool to make fun of each other. I think we make fun of, I don't believe in punching down or punching up. We're all equal. Let's all punch each other in fun. But the industry didn't tend to reward that, so we kind of had to take this alternative route to do the style of comedy we wanted to do. And at the end of the day, that's more important than making it is saying the things I want to say and having fun.
Got it. I still remember one of the funniest clips I've ever seen you guys do is when some Comedy Central executives lost your job and you were dancing. I remember watching that on Instagram. I literally lost my mind about how funny that was. But it's in a broader context of you guys looking over and have become massive stars. I've been to some of Schultz's shows in DC or elsewhere. I mean, it's crazy to see it. We're talking about selling out like huge auditoriums, and I very much hope to see that in your future as well. Yeah. And from that point of view, Akaash, we've been talking a lot here on the show about misinformation and about this. And to me, the most pernicious part of this is, look, Joe Rogan, he's gonna be fine. Dave Chappelle, they're gonna be fine. You know who gets screwed? It's guys like us who are on our way up. Can you talk about why it's so important for you and for me and anybody else who finds himself on the way up not to participate in these things? Because it ultimately just leads to either self-censorship or the destruction possibly of our own careers, as we want to last and be successful too.
Yeah, in general, I don't really want to censor anybody who I think is speaking authentically. Even if I disagree with you, if you believe these things, we will yell back and forth, but in no way do I think an argument should be me yelling at you for yelling and then silencing. Right. I think that's unhealthy across the board, aside from career ramifications. And I don't think the career ramifications are as great because at the end of the day, people want to hear discussions. That's why you guys are killing it. That's why you're one of the biggest podcasts and news podcasts on earth over CNN or NPR or whatever, and you're behind the paywall. Like these free podcasts that are just full of shit, everybody's bypassing them to go to you because it's authenticity and that we want authenticity. But I also think I don't think I'm like a savior in any way, but I think the future of this country is not in good shape if, period, we just stop allowing each other to talk. Yeah. If we just keep yelling at each other and demonizing the other side, and that person shouldn't be able to talk, no, this person shouldn't be able to talk, and then actually silencing, the country's just not going to be okay, period. And the smallest ramification is I can't tell my ridiculous jokes, but I think overall that's a thing that we should be wary of.
Really well said, man. This is coming out Wednesday, so it comes out literally today for everybody who is listening. Where can everybody go and watch it? Just watch it on my YouTube channel. It's Akaash Singh Comedy. That's AKAASHSINGH Comedy. It's called Bring Back Apu, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. I think we had a lot of fun with this. I can't wait to watch it. We're going to link down there in the description. Also, check out his work over at Flagrant 2. If you go to his website, he's going to be touring the country. Go and see all of his comedy appearances live. Akaash, my friend, thank you so much for joining the show. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. God bless, buddy. Love you. See you later.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.